I have a bank.
This one here is Popeye.
Did Popeye inspire you to eat spinach?
No, I'm not a spinach eater, Chumlee.
Popeye made me eat my vegetables.
Yeah, you look like it, Chumlee.
I'm assuming it's a kid's blunderbuss?
Kid or a very small man?
This was definitely not made for a kid. Even though it looks the style of a rifle, you would never want to shoulder this. And trying to get this up close and firing it.
The episode opens in full chaos before a single item even hits the counter. Rick's bragging about all the celebrities who've passed through the shop. Corey's roasting him for acting like yelling at people on eBay counts as fame. And Chumlee's tossing out random celebrity trivia nobody asked for. It's ego, jokes, and confusion all at once. Classic Pawn Stars energy setting the tone before the first deal even begins.
Drooling over Ricky Montrose' autograph.
It's Roger Daltrey's autograph. It just happens to be on a Ronnie Montrose t-shirt. I wanted to get the thing framed.
This is getting a little weird.
Dude, you're a grown man drooling over another grown man's signature.
Whatever. I know deep down you all have someone you would love to get an autograph from.
Then the Wild West walks through the door. A seller arrives with woolly Angora Chaps straight out of the late 1800s, looking like something a cowboy or Chewbacca might have worn. Rick's instantly interested and explains they protected riders from thorns and rough brush. The seller wants $1,000, and suddenly this pair of hairy leather pants becomes the center of a surprisingly serious negotiation.
A fancy old pair of woolly chaps, Angora.
Yeah, Big Hoss knows all about chaps. He wears them riding his motorcycle all the time.
You've never seen me wear a pair of chaps riding my motorcycle.
Don't get bashful in front of the customers.
Rick likes them, but not at 4 figures. He confirms they're authentic and in decent shape, but admits the market is niche. He opens at $200. The seller pushes back hard at $800. Rick holds steady and bumps to $300. After a moment of hesitation, the seller agrees. Rick walks away smiling. Another strange but genuine piece of cowboy history added to the pile.
Well, these are awful fancy, and any cowboy would love owning these. You could get any girl you want to fill you up in these. They're so soft and luxurious.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say Corey's blushing. He must really like these.
Next, the tone shifts completely. A seller presents a handwritten poem by Nikola Tesla. Rick immediately leans in, clearly stunned. Tesla memorabilia is rare, and anything in his own handwriting carries serious weight. The seller wants $5,000. Rick calls in handwriting expert Steve, knowing this could either be groundbreaking or a costly mistake.
Nikola Tesla, a very rare poem written by Tesla.
I did not know he was a poet. He was like one of the greatest engineers ever.
This is a poem that Tesla wrote right after he had his first big argument with Thomas Edison.
Steve examines the ink, paper, and writing flow carefully and confirms it's authentic. Tesla really wrote it, but it's sentimental rather than scientific, which lowers collector demand. Value lands between $1,500 and $2,000. Rick offers $1,000. After a short negotiation, they settle at $1,600. The seller leaves happy, and Rick secures a rare personal glimpse into one of history's greatest minds.
I just want to make sure it was written by him because even 100 years ago, people were faking stuff by him.
All right, first thing I want to do is take a better look. I see some variances of the ink. It's getting lighter, it's getting darker, and I believe it's a live ink signature, so at least we know that there's ink here on paper.
Meanwhile, Chumlee launches a side mission, buying a bass guitar with the goal of getting Def Leppard to sign it. Rick's skeptical, Corey's laughing, and Chum swears he has a foolproof plan. The setup feels like it's headed straight for chaos.
Can't believe what I just heard coming out of Chum's damn mouth. I need to step in now. Let me just say, it's a nice bass, it's a 5-string, but it wasn't played by anyone in the Red Hot Chili Peppers or any other rock star.
At the concert, things go sideways. Def Leppard is nowhere near Chum's section. Instead, he convinces someone dressed like Prince to sign the guitar. He proudly returns, calling it close enough. Corey stares in disbelief. Rick struggles not to laugh, and the guitar instantly becomes one of the strangest autograph stories the shop has seen.
Rick sent me out to get a guitar signed by Def Leppard. Usually I'm pretty good at stuff like this.
Hi there.
Excuse me, Mr. Prince, how you doing?
Good, sir.
I was just getting some gas and I thought maybe I could get your autograph.
Absolutely, sure. What's your name?
My name's Chumlee, but if you could just sign it Prince, that would be good.
Back to business. A seller arrives with a brass ship lantern from the SS Emedio, a tanker sunk by a Japanese submarine in 1941. Rick's intrigued by the history, but the condition raises concerns. Missing glass panels and dented brass. The seller wants $7,500, a price that feels steep for something so fragile.
It's kind of neat.
Okay, what do we got here?
Got an old ship's marker light, son.
Pretty common, but they're pretty cool.
But this one, in fact, is a anchor light off of the SS Amidio, which was the first ship that was sunk by the Japanese Imperial Navy.
Rick stays respectful but realistic. He offers $200, citing restoration issues and limited resale appeal. The seller laughs and declines, taking the lantern back with him. Rick shrugs. Sometimes the history is fascinating, but the numbers just don't work.
13 days earlier, Pearl Harbor happened and a lot of other ships were sunk. It's neat that it's off the Amidio, but I don't think you'll ever get $7,500 for it.
All right, well, thanks for your time.
Thanks for coming in, man.
All right, thanks.
Hey, thank you.
The shop cuts back to Chumlee proudly presenting his Prince-signed guitar. Rick and Corey can barely keep it together laughing. Corey calls it worthless. Rick jokes he'd have better odds getting Elvis to sign it, and Chum defends his creativity. It's pure comedy, and the subplot refuses to die quietly.
Prince signed it, dude. Check it out, I got a picture.
Let me see.
Right there, Prince.
Chum, that is an impersonator of Prince.
No, that is Prince.
Prince doesn't even look that much like Prince.
Dude, that is Prince, I'm telling you.
Chum, it's an impersonator.
Then, the day takes a surreal turn. Katie Couric walks into the shop. Chumlee freezes instantly. Rick tries to stay composed, and Corey looks stunned. She chats with the crew and ends up buying a Mark Twain autograph from Rick for $12,000. Just like that, the shop shifts from pawn deals to full celebrity moment.
So tell me about this. This is a Mark Twain signature.
He used to give these out. He'd scratch little things on a card, sign it, and this one's even dated, January 1900.
Cool.
It's a great piece of advice.
The episode opens in full-blown chaos before any deal even happens. Chumlee strolls in late, Corey starts roasting him immediately, and Rick jumps in defending management's right to bully your friends. Corey fires back with a brutal jab. Customers start chiming in, and Rick wraps it with, "Family comes first, and money comes second." The tone is set instantly. Loud, messy, and classic Pawn Stars energy before the first item even hits the counter.
Chum, you're late.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I'm earlier than usual.
I mean, if being stupid was illegal, you'd be spending your whole life in prison.
Can you talk to your employees like that?
Yeah, as long as he's not actually threatening you, yeah, you can.
If Chumlee came in on time, you'd just find another reason to yell at him.
The first seller arrives carrying 2 vintage F-16 test pilot suits from his days working at General Dynamics. Rick lights up, fascinated by the world of high-speed aviation, explaining these weren't military flight suits, but gear used by civilian test pilots pushing experimental jets to their limits. The seller wants $500, and Rick's already weighing history against resale value.
Aircraft memorabilia that I wanted to see if I could do something with.
Looks like it might be tall enough for me.
You couldn't fit in there with a chainsaw and a blender, son.
I worked at General Dynamics for 35 years. I just retired not too long ago.
So were you a test pilot?
No, sir. Just a mechanic.
Okay, so you're not insane. I mean, you gotta be a little bit no, you gotta be bad crazy to actually fly in one of these things. I mean, especially when they first came out with them and...
Rick inspects the suits, pointing out the wear and the fact they weren't used in combat. Authentic, yes, but niche. He opens at $300. The seller nudges up to $325, and Rick surprisingly agrees. Quick handshake, clean deal. The seller walks out smiling, and Rick adds another unusual piece of aviation history to the inventory.
It's been one of the world's dominant fighter planes since it came out in the 1970s.
Our chief test pilots wearing flight suits.
So these aren't military?
No, the civilian test pilots wore these.
These were worn by civilian test pilots, and that impacts the price.
Back to shop drama. Chumlee vents about the old man being harsh, claiming the yelling gives him nightmares. Cue flashbacks of the old man barking orders. Corey just shakes his head like this is daily routine. The family dynamic is half workplace, half comedy show, and nobody seems interested in changing it.
Watch it, Chumlee.
See?
He's just a grumpy old bastard. You just have to accept that.
I have nightmares of the old man yelling at me.
Chumlee, I'm gonna put you in a damn grave. Chumlee, I'm fixing to hit you. Chum, you're an idiot. You got that, Chumlee?
Yeah, I got it.
Then a seller walks in with something explosive. An audio tape he claims features President John F. Kennedy angrily speaking on the phone. Rick's interest spikes instantly. If authentic and private, it could be historic. Rick asks if JFK knew he was being recorded. The seller just smiles, keeping things mysterious.
That I had with John F. Kennedy.
Really?
Yes, sir.
and in it, he is attempting to do something, and he's rather angry about it.
That is really, really cool. So did the president know you were recording him?
I was an operational intelligence specialist in the Pentagon, and he sort of raised his cane with me a little bit.
The seller explains he worked at the Pentagon during the early 60s and accidentally received a call from JFK during the Birmingham riots. The president was furious, reportedly shouting instructions. Rick leans in. This could be a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse of history. The seller asks $100,000 and the room goes quiet.
At approximately 1:20 Eastern Standard Time, so obviously you worked graveyard.
Yes.
You participated in an extended conversation with the President of the United States while the latter was attempting to complete a telephone call to the Army War Room. Throughout the conversation, you demonstrated to a remarkable degree an ability to respond clearly to questions posed.
Rick calls in Mark Hall Patton and takes the tape to a museum for verification. Mark confirms the timing lines up with the 1963 Birmingham crisis, when Kennedy ordered federal intervention. Rick is hooked. This sounds like real, raw presidential history. Now they just need to hear the tape.
This could be a real valuable piece of history, but I want to listen to it. Hey, Mark, Rick, I got a guy here. He's got a tape of JFK yelling at him. It's on a reel-to-reel. You have one that'll work with a reel-to-reel? Can I cruise out? Okay, see you then, man.
They play it. JFK's voice comes through, sharp and frustrated, demanding updates. It's powerful, but Mark quickly explains those calls were officially recorded and archived by the government. That means this tape isn't unique. It's likely a copy of material already preserved in the National Archives.
And the local authorities were doing their darndest to keep the troops out. I can imagine that the president was probably pretty much on edge because things were so close to completely coming apart in Birmingham to where we might have had to occupy in America. So do you remember what the conversation was?
The seller's six-figure dream collapses. Mark explains it has historical interest, but limited collector value since it's not one of a kind. Rick gently declines, suggesting it's better kept as a family piece. The seller leaves disappointed, realizing history doesn't always translate into profit.
By mid-62, they were recording in the White House and they were recording telephone conversations as well. And those tapes are now publicly available.
So what you're saying is that this is probably in the Kennedy Library or the National Archives, and this isn't...
Meanwhile, Chumlee tries to secretly film the old man being harsh, hoping to prove a point. Corey catches him immediately and confiscates the phone. Chum panics while Corey smirks, holding it hostage for the rest of the day. Another subplot born purely from chaos.
The old man likes to abuse me when no one's around, so I'm gonna prove it by recording it. I don't even think he knows phones can record video, so this should be pretty easy.
Damn, Chum, it's about time you got here.
What's up, boss? Oh, my bad.
Next, a seller brings in a 1936 chemistry set, claiming it taught him how to make gunpowder as a kid. Rick eyes it cautiously. The wooden containers are labeled with chemicals that sound more dangerous than collectible. The seller wants $150, and Rick looks unsure about even handling it.
I got it for my 10th Christmas present.
Well, you must have got this thing a long time ago.
Everything in my life was a long time ago. My dad believed in educational toys. I really was disappointed, and this wasn't on my list.
Rick points out many of the substances probably aren't safe or even legal to sell today. He offers $45. The seller drops to $100, and they eventually settle at $60. Rick walks away relieved, having bought the set without accidentally blowing anything up.
These vintage chemistry sets are cool, and they definitely don't make stuff like this for kids anymore. But if I buy it, I'm gonna have to make sure Chum doesn't blow anything up.
This was just simply the way your chemicals came. Aluminum chloride, sodium phosphate, powdered zinc. That was a good one. That added a lot of zest to the whole system.
The old man adds to the comedy by answering Chumlee's confiscated phone. A caller asks for Chum. Turns out it's his grandma. The old man hangs up and insists it wasn't her. Corey enjoys every second while Chum protests. Just another normal day in the shop.
What do you mean you don't know?
Means I don't know.
It has to mean something.
I don't know.
You don't know nothing, Corey. It's getting hard out here for a pimp. I mean, this is the dumbest thing in the world. Just pick up the damn phone and talk to someone.
Another seller brings in a silver baby rattle from the 1800s, claiming it's sterling and made by Gorham. Rick inspects it closely, explaining silver's antibacterial properties and why it was used for baby items. The seller is confident, but Rick's expression says he's already spotting problems.
The kids would teeth on this end of the pearl.
Is that why people had such bad teeth back in the day?
Do you know much about it?
I know it's got the cat and the fiddle and the cow jumped over the moon on it, and it's got a sterling mark, and the whistle does work.
Rick points out incorrect hallmarks, green solder marks, and signs it isn't genuine sterling. He breaks the news gently. It's likely a reproduction. The seller looks crushed, having expected a few $100s. Rick shrugs. People fake everything, even baby rattles.
If you were rich in the 1800s and want to flaunt it, this is what you spent your money on. Nothing says status like a silver baby rattle. Angora made some of the finest silver items on the market. If you look at the hallmark on it, it's a later hallmark. It's from 1860 to like 1890, so we know it's not really early stuff.
The episode wraps in full shop chaos. Chumlee demands his phone back. Corey laughs, and Rick steps in like a referee. Corey scrolls through Chum's texts and jokes about a message from a girl. Everyone cracks up. Rick shakes his head, and the shop returns to its natural state. History, deals, and nonstop family madness.
What's going on, son?
He took my phone earlier today, and he won't give it back.
He was trying to record me. He was trying to get me upset. He threw papers off the desk. You try to record me again, you're a dead man.
See, that's threatening, Dad. You're
I'm
not
not threatening him. I'm just saying that he'll die if he does.
The episode opens with a full-blown shop rivalry before any item even hits the counter. Corey wants to build a trivia dream team for a cash prize, but the old man instantly vetoes Chumlee. Rick piles on, mocking Chum's past mistakes like buying a fake Dolly statue, and locks in the team. Rick, Corey, Theo, and Travis. Chumlee protests, insisting he's smarter than they think, but Rick shuts him down, saying he'd only be useful in a sneaker contest. The tension is set early.
We're putting together a trivia team, and we obviously want to win. So Chum, not included.
We can definitely invite Travis. That makes 4. That is a dream team.
A customer walks in with a Popeye-themed antique coin bank meant to teach kids how to save money. Rick immediately connects with it, joking about being a tough sailor himself, and admires the sturdy metal design. The seller hopes for $50 but admits he got it for free. Rick offers $20, they haggle briefly, and settle at $25. A simple deal, but a solid start to the day.
What we got today?
I have a bank.
This one here is Popeye.
Popeye inspire you to eat spinach?
No, I'm not a spinach eater, Chumlee.
Popeye made me eat my vegetables.
Yeah, you look like it, Chumlee.
But since I didn't pay anything for it, I have a lot of room to negotiate.
Quite an interesting piece.
Then things get serious. Rick's friend Craig arrives, but not as an expert this time. He's selling a Civil War-era D. Moore pistol with a wild story. It supposedly belonged to a black Confederate officer. Rick is instantly skeptical, saying he's never heard of black officers serving the Confederacy. The pistol looks legit, but the entire value hinges on whether that story is true.
You like history, Rick. Bought this gun, and when I saw it, I knew it was for you.
All right, so what's so special about the gun?
Gun is a Moore, and it belonged to a black officer during the Civil War from Louisiana.
Someone really told you that story and you believed it?
The debate heats up. Craig insists the claim comes from a history book, even admitting it sounds unusual. Rick isn't convinced and calls in Mark Hall Patton to settle it. The $7,000 asking price now depends entirely on whether this obscure piece of Civil War history checks out.
Okay, I know there was Black Army in the South, but I don't believe they had any officers.
I don't either. That's the weird thing.
As far as I know, there was just a couple black officers in the Union
In the
Army.
whole Civil War, I know. But you've got this book saying that this gun belonged to a black officer from Louisiana.
Mark studies the engraving naming Lieutenant Hayes of the Louisiana Native Guard and clarifies the truth. There were no black Confederate officers. However, after Union forces captured New Orleans, they formed the Louisiana Native Guard from free black men, and its officers were black. The pistol isn't Confederate. It's tied to one of the Union's first black regiments, completely reframing its historical importance.
I want to specifically look at what's engraved on it, because I'm sure you know the gun itself. Lieutenant S. Hayes, F. 2nd Regiment, Louisiana Native Guard.
Did the South have any black officers?
Mark is impressed, calling it one of the coolest pistols he's seen. With the story verified, the price suddenly makes sense. Rick tries negotiating lower, joking Craig probably paid far less. Craig fires back that Rick will easily sell it for more. Two experts now negotiating like rivals.
The first black regiments were the Louisiana Native Guard. So to have something that ties back to that, this is an incredible piece. This is a hell of a find. I mean, you've had me come in and look at a few interesting pieces, but this thing's cool. This is a neat piece.
Thank you, Mark.
Not a problem. See you later.
They finally settle at $6,000. Rick insists he doesn't give expert discounts, even to friends. Meanwhile, Chumlee, still hurt from being excluded from trivia night, starts plotting. He quietly locks Travis, a key team member, out in the scorching backlot, creating a problem Rick doesn't see coming.
I think I've got a plan. I'll get the door for you. Dude! Chop! Come on, bro! Chop! Is Travis gonna be able to make it to trivia night locked in the back lot?
Next, a woman brings in a signed photograph of President Benjamin Harrison. Rick and Corey joke about being related to him, but the seller is serious. She wants to sell it to fund her parents' anniversary trip. Her asking price is $500. Rick immediately suspects the signature might be printed or fake. Warning, it could be worth almost nothing if it isn't real.
The sign. Benjamin Harrison. Hey, Corey. It's like your great-great-uncle twice removed from your second cousin.
Do you really believe we're actually related to that guy?
Grandpa says we were.
I met your grandfather, and he was a liar.
Rick calls in autograph expert Stewart, knowing a genuine presidential signature changes everything. Meanwhile, Travis is still missing. Chumlee casually admits he sent him on a pointless errand across town. Rick realizes immediately Chumlee sabotaged the trivia team on purpose.
Okay,
thank you.
Most cabinet cards aren't worth the paper they're printed on, so normally this would be a pass. But a cabinet card actually signed by a president? Now that's a different story. And not just because supposedly I'm related to this guy.
With Travis unavailable, Rick recruits the old man to fill the gap, bribing him with chicken wings. Chumlee offers again to join, but they ignore him. Even after creating the opening, they'd rather bring in the old man than accept him. The rejection lands hard, and Chumlee's revenge instincts kick into high gear.
What are we gonna do about tonight? Need 4 people on a team. Dad, is there any way you can make it? I won't keep you out that late.
Do they have chicken wings?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, son.
Yeah, it'll be a fun night.
Dude, but
Stewart delivers the verdict on the Harrison photo, completely authentic, with distinct handwriting traits proving it's real. However, it's a later generation print, which lowers its value. He appraises it at around $1,250. The seller is thrilled. She expected far less.
I believe this was signed by President Benjamin Harrison himself.
Oh, wow.
Okay, sweet.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So what do you think it's worth?
Well, there is one little condition with this. So if you see along here, there are all those extra lines. I don't think this is a first-generation photograph. In a first-generation photograph, the lines are very, very sharp.
Now the negotiation flips. Rick offers $700, already above her original ask. Confident after the appraisal, she pushes to $750. Rick and Corey reluctantly agree, realizing calling the expert just cost them extra. Still, it's a fair deal, and the seller leaves happy.
I give you like $700 for it. That's the best I could do on it.
Really? Could you do 8?
Really? You just wanted 5, and now I'm offering you 7.
Right.
I have to frame it up. I have to do some other things.
Could you do 750?
I guess we really shouldn't have called Stewart in, huh?
Yeah, I'll give you the 750.
It's a deal. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, you want to write her up, son?
Come with me.
Trivia night arrives, and Rick's team walks in expecting an easy win, only to be stunned. Chumlee has formed his own rival team, recruiting Jeremy for sports questions, and Rebecca, the book expert, for everything else. Suddenly, the dream team is facing a stacked opponent built entirely out of spite and strategy.
Guys, it's Rebecca.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Rebecca.
Really?
You guys ready to kick some butt?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, we're just waiting for one more team member. I don't see much competition around.
So who's next? I mean, did you bring Einstein back from the grave?
That's bull.
The final announcement drops. Chumlee's team wins the $200 cash prize. He celebrates loudly, rubbing it in Rick's face and claiming the trivia crown. His sabotage, planning, and underdog determination all pay off. The ultimate revenge, proving that even when they doubt him, Chumlee knows exactly how to win when it matters.
He did not go to work. And by a landslide, the winners of $200 cash is Chumlee's team.
Yeah! Thank you.
Rick announces he's throwing a Cinco de Mayo party. Chumlee gets overly excited, planning margarita machines, giant sombreros, and piñatas. Though Rick insists on money inside, not candy. Rick then starts to explain the holiday's real history, the Mexican army's unlikely victory over the French at the Battle of Puebla. Chumlee instantly shuts him down. I thought we were having a party, not a history lesson. The tone for the episode is set, fun versus facts.
Because I read. Don't you read?
Not about avocados, no.
You guys are just haters, all right? I'm throwing a Cinco de Mayo party.
Hell yeah, I love Cinco de Mayo parties. I'm gonna help you a lot, don't you worry. Margarita machine, giant sombrero hats, mustaches. We'll do some pinatas with candy in them.
A customer brings in a painting he claims is by Claude Monet, taken as collateral on a loan where the borrower died. He admits it's not his style, but knows if real, it's worth $2 to $3 million. Rick is immediately skeptical, but intrigued. The customer provides no specific title or date, only that the original owner was a doctor. The sheer potential value makes this a high-stakes appraisal.
Well, it's a Claude Monet painting.
Is there just the weird chance that your name is Claude Monet, or is this actually the Claude Monet?
No, this is the actual guy.
Okay. Where in the hell did you get this?
Collateral for a loan.
Okay. The guy just defaulted on the loan, or?
No, actually, he took the money, went in the hospital, and died.
Okay.
So that, I guess, in itself is a default.
Rick gives a quick art lesson, explaining Monet founded Impressionism, a movement named after his painting Impression Sunrise. He describes the style's blurry yet detailed quality that commands millions. The customer then produces Provenance, a 1965 analysis calling it an atypical Claude Monet from his early period, and a 1997 museum insurance policy valuing it at $2.1 million. This paperwork momentarily makes the impossible seem plausible.
The things that made Monet paintings so great, they were a little bit blurry. That's Impressionism. But you could still see detail and depth. That's what made them so special, and that's why they go for millions and millions of dollars.
What I have here is some documentation.
Okay.
Some provenance for you that you can look at.
Rick admits he's not qualified to authenticate a Monet, but is willing to spend serious money if it's real. He calls in an expert, hoping they can both profit. The customer hopes to walk away with $1 million. The sheer audacity of a potential multi-million dollar art deal happening in a pawn shop is peak Pawn Stars drama. The tension between dream and probable reality is palpable.
Just 100%, I am not qualified to say if this is real or not. Okay. But I might have a lowly pawn shop, but I do spend some serious money every once in a while.
Sure.
So let me get a friend down here.
Okay.
If this is legit, I think we can both make money off it.
Chumlee reminisces about Corey's teenage dream of a banana-yellow Volkswagen Beetle with a surfboard rack. Corey confirms he was saving for one, freaking out his mom over the lack of airbags. A seller then presents commemorative Volkswagen silver ingots from the company's 25th US anniversary. It's a quirky, nostalgic item that shifts gears from fine art to pop culture collectibles, showcasing the shop's wild variety.
I remember you used to dream about having a Beetle. What did you want, like banana yellow with a surfboard rack on it or something?
Yeah.
Really bad. That's all he would talk about.
Yeah, I was saving my money to buy one. It really freaked my mom out that I was going to be driving around at 16 with no airbag.
The seller wants $100 per 2-ounce silver bar. Corey brings him down to earth. It's a commodity. Silver is $20 an ounce, so 8 ounces is $160 melt value. Corey refuses to pay a huge premium, joking that if he paid over spot, his grandfather would shoot him. He sticks firmly at $160. The seller reluctantly accepts, muttering a folksy proverb about getting what you get and not throwing a fish.
It's not going to happen. Despite having the Volkswagen logo on it and everything else, it's 2, 4, 6, 8 ounces of silver here. Silver's at $20 an ounce. It's $160.
$160.
Yeah, we're dealing in commodities here, man. We're not dealing in collectibles.
I don't know, man. How about you hit me $250?
$250? No, man. It's
Rick continues his unsolicited history lesson, correctly noting Cinco de Mayo isn't Mexico's Independence Day. That's September 16th. He traces the U.S. celebration to Mexican miners in 1860s California. Chumlee and Corey are visibly bored. Rick even offers history books, to which Chumlee sarcastically replies, "That sounds just freaking miserable."
No, it was the Battle of Puebla. It's when a smaller Mexican force beat a much larger...
No way.
I didn't even finish my sentence. It was when news got to like Northern California at a mining camp. A bunch of Mexicans there started celebrating.
Art expert Brett arrives and is stunned to see a supposed Monet in a pawn shop. He explains Monet's monumental importance in art history. He examines the provided provenance but calls the early period description vague. His initial impression is that the style and subject, rural France, could fit Monet's late 1870s work. However, he's cautious, knowing the stakes are in the millions. the hope for authenticity is still alive.
Gosh, this is the Monet.
This is it.
All right. Monet's one of the biggies. I mean, when you think of fine art masters, Monet's right up there near the top of the heap. He established probably the most important artistic movement of the last 200 years.
Brett points out potential red flags. The painting lacks the texture, impasto, and vibrant color palette typical of Monet. Yet, he doesn't dismiss it outright, noting it could be a study or lesser piece. With potential value at $5 million, he insists on a second opinion from another expert he trusts implicitly. The careful, methodical approach underscores how perilous it is to authenticate a masterpiece in this setting.
Really capture the impressions quickly. The brush strokes are there. It's very thin. Usually you'll get some sort of impasto, a little bit more texture. He usually had some texture in his pieces, and this, again, there's very little of that. He also was known for having a very, vibrant palette. All of the master works that you see.
While Rick is busy with the Monet, Chumlee, Corey, and the old man conspire to exclude Rick from the Cinco de Mayo party. They call him a know-it-all dweeb and a total nerd who will ruin the fun with facts. They plot to send him on a fake errand to Pahrump. It's a hilarious mutiny, highlighting Rick's reputation as a walking encyclopedia that even his family finds exhausting.
Do you want to have a history lesson or do you want to party?
I have to agree with you, Chumlee. Rick can't be a damn bore. We can just explain to him we don't want him there.
We can't just tell him not to show up. That's mean.
Why can't we?
First off, he's your son and he's your father and he's my boss. It's just mean.
The second art expert, Gerard, is called in. He immediately notes the painting should be 150 years old and show cracks, especially in the signature area. This one has none. He examines the back of the canvas, looking for old paint seeping through, and finds none. His technical analysis is methodical and devastating for the hopeful seller. The dream of $1 million payday begins to crumble under scientific scrutiny.
This is the man that I go to in our gallery when we have masterpieces come through just to verify authenticity and things like that. I trust his opinion implicitly, so.
Okay.
I'm a fine art expert specialized in authentication of important masters. Before to look at the name, you look at the technique.
Gerard delivers the final verdict with 200% certainty. It is not a Monet. The paint is too flat, lacks shadows, and shows no age cracks. The seller is crushed, simply saying, "Wow, really? Not real." Rick philosophizes, usually when it's too good to be true, it generally is. The multi-million-dollar fantasy evaporates, leaving only a nice but worthless imitation. Another reminder why expert calls are essential.
How sure are you of this?
200% sure, because there is absolutely not one crack in the paint itself, which is not usual for 150 years old painting. Also, what you notice is almost all in one plane.
Rick arrives at the shop for the 5 p.m. party, only to find it completely deserted. He calls out, confused. A message left by the crew tells him to read some fun facts to find them. He realizes he's been pranked and ditched. The final shot implies the crew is elsewhere, having stolen a bottle of tequila. Rick's history lessons finally backfired, leaving him alone. The ultimate revenge for his know-it-all ways.
Where the hell's everybody at? Where are you guys at? God, where are you guys at?